Well, hello, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and as promised, this is the second part of this correspondence journal made from the Journaling Basics kit by Create with Scrimpy Mummy. It's 15 pages and it's a measly £2, okay? And it's, according to Amanda, an ephemera kit, and yes it is, it's an amazing ephemera kit. But last week I showed you how to turn it into a journal kit rather than an ephemera kit. We made our cover, or should I say we made the cover and decorated the outside. Now I'm going to decorate the inside, and I'm going to sew in my papers and talk you through what I'm thinking about doing for the rest of the pages, and we'll see whether or not we're coming back for a part 3. So it's completely plain inside at the moment. I'm taking, if you remember, we had 2 coffee dyed sheets left. I'm taking one of them, I'm laying it on my cover so that I've got roughly 1.5 inch overhanging. Line it up because it is the same size, okay, and then whoops, well, you know, line it up and leave it there, Claire. And then I'm rolling over the right hand side and I'm going to put a fold along the line of my signature. Can you see? Not my signature, my spine. So that will fit against my spine there. And then I'm going to bring this one in so that it covers the majority of the inside, like that. Okay, now I can see that's not straight, so let's line this up and get it straight. Okay, and let's bring this side in as well. We want it all straight, but of course we wanted to measure it against our cover. Okay, we've now got, you want the thin side to open that way and the deep side that way. We've now got a pocket or an envelope, whatever you'd like to call, that A, I'm going to decorate up, and B, is going to form our inside cover, you see, like that. Now, because it doesn't cover all of it completely, I'm just going to run my ink around the edge. Now, I'm using walnut stain in the distress ink. Whoops. Don't have to use this, you can use any ink you've got. If you haven't got any ink, then just use a brown felt tip, to be honest with you, and just run it around the edge. It will work, because obviously when we do these videos we never know exactly what stock you've got, or you know how long you've been crafting in this style. So what's Amanda's favourite term? Use what you got. Use what you have. You don't need loads and loads, I knew you said a rude word then, loads and loads of stuff to make journals. You can find most of what you need in your house already. If you've got children, go and find their paint pad and use some brown paint. You know, you can use anything, it's really not an issue. Okay, so I've run my ink all the way round. I'm just now going to run it up and down to get those crease lines highlighted. There you go, job done. Now, make sure we got it up the right way, because I did spin it round a few times. This is going to sit there. It's going to cover our inside page. Okay, now if you want this to be a deep pocket, you can add a gusset. Shown you how to do that before. You can just take, I'm just rummaging in my scraps, take a piece of paper. You need it to be the same height as your flap. That's going to be that height there. I'm going to tear this off, and we are going to make a concertina out of this. So it doesn't really matter how wide you make it whatever width you want, but just keep it going. Okay, and then when you've concertinaed the whole thing, when you've concertinaed the whole thing, you will have a leftover bit, so that's not big enough to go any further. So get rid of that bit, and then you've got one of these. Ding, 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 ding. Now we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we have 1, 2, 3, and then we've got a mountain and a valley, like that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and again we've got a mountain and a valley, like that. If you then run your glue down there and down there, now need to put this on there, like that. Okay, so that my valley is on the inside of my closure. Okay, so you see, look, there's the valley, so the valley's going on the inside. Line it up to your fold, pop it on. Sorry about the noise. The people a couple of doors up had some work done on their house and scaffolds coming down. Trim that up so that it's exact like that, and then glue that one and glue that one, and bring that in and up and press it home. Okay, and then what you've done is you've given yourself a gusset so that your envelope can take a little bit more than it would have taken before. Now, if you want this to be a pretty tie close, then you could take some string or some ribbon. I'm going to go with string. Pop it on the back, do a glue line, make sure you've got plenty to tie it, do your glue line like that, bring it round the fronts, and how to get yourself in a knot when trying to tie a bow, and just, it's because it's curled from the coil, of course. Do yourself a big sloppy bow like that. I'm gonna trim both those threads like that. Okay, now I'm going to glue all around my envelope, like so. And that, move this because it's probably now gluey and we don't want to stick that all over our journal. I'm I'm now just going to line that up in there, and instantly, then if we undo it, we've got a covering for your inside cover. Make sure your glues are all stuck. You've got instant covering for your cover, and you've got a lovely gusset pocket there. Okay, so I'm going to tie that back up so it doesn't get in our way. Whoops. And tie up a big sloppy bow. Alright, then all of our pages will be on there like that. Now we need to look at the back page. Now the back page, I thought I would do a pocket that's been stuffed. So I'm going to cut out these 3 letters. One, that's actually not a letter. Yes, it is. It's one with advertising on. Now you'll see there's some white lines on here. This is where my printer was messing around. It's not part of the kit. It doesn't look like that. And this one. Okay. So take all the white off. Obviously you can use a scoreboard, scissors, whatever you want. I'm just comfortable using my scalpel and my metal ruler. Now you could back these if you wanted to make them a little bit thicker, especially if you've printed on copier paper. You'll want a little bit more weight. Oops. You'll want a little bit more weight to them than that. This is navigator paper that I use. So it is I'll keep getting myself, is it 120 or 160? But it's a very good weight for things like this. This is copier paper that's been coffee dyed. Very, very thin. And this is the navigator. Okay. I haven't got a packet wrap to hand as I would show you. I have showed it previously though. It's the bright yellow one that I buy, because the navigator paper comes in a white wrap, a green wrap and a yellow wrap. And the one that I buy is the yellow wrap, because each one is obviously a slightly different product. Okay, so we've got our 3 things to go in our stuffed pocket. So we need to make sure that our pocket is shallow enough for them. So I'm going to go about there. Okay. So this is now our final sheet of coffee dyed paper. I've torn it in half that way. I'm going to bring back my cover. I'm going to line this up, but I'm going to line it up all the way to the envelope we just made, and then I'm going to put my ruler about 2 centimetres off of the cover and tear off that spare piece of paper. The reason I've done that is because it gives me some depth to my pocket. And then if you turn it over, the amount you overhung each side, it's too small that side, so we'll bring that in a bit more. I'm sure you've seen this done, but this is for people, you know, that haven't. I want to make sure I show you everything. Okay, I'll have a little tiny bit more on this side. Okay, so that now fits in our cover. I'm going to turn up the bottom and we are going to turn down the top. Okay, right, so then if you open it all out, what we want to do is, the top one is the narrow piece. That we are going to glue down to give strength to our pocket. So glue that down, get that in place. Okay, now on the bottom one we're going to cut that corner out like that. On the top one we're going to cut a triangle. So a triangle and then round the corner. And what happens now is this is going to fold back, this is going to fold. It wasn't properly stuck, so we just trim it off, that's fine. This one we're going to fold back and this one we're going to fold up. Okay, make sure that your inside flaps are behind your up flap, and then we're just going to add some glue to those three pieces that have been folded in. We're going to line that up on the bottom like so. We're going to stick that down, and now you've got some depth, or you will have when it's glued, to your pocket. So let's decorate up this pocket. Oh, and obviously these are going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's our stuffed pocket. We're going to decorate this up, and I thought it would be nice, as it's all correspondence, to put on here. So I'm ruffling through the kit. Right, here. These are postcard correspondence, so I thought maybe we could use the travelling suitcases. Right. Like so. And just fussy cut them out. Not very good at fussy cutting today, am I? Goodness me. Okay, so there's our suitcases, and that to me, you know, indicates that this is either holiday post or holiday documentation for, you know, when we go away, whatever. So we get that on that pocket, and that just fits on there absolutely beautifully. Oh, excuse me. And I love these alphabet, like typewriter keys that Amanda's given us. So that's that. If you wanted to, you could then, where have they gone? Where's my tickets gone? Here. You could put some travel tickets on there from, you know, your travelling. So and cut these out. Now these ones we are going to have to do properly. We didn't do the front ones properly because they were being glued down, but we'll cut that out. And I've got a little hole punch here, done that wrong. So we'll do a double one there. We'll rub a little bit of ink over it. There we go. So we might want to put a couple of tickets there from where, you know, we had to use transport on our holiday. I'll show you something else clever to do with these in a minute. So we take that one and we just put them like that on there. So glue that up, pop that on there, and this, oops, I can't pick it up now, and this one on there. Shouldn't be gluing on my mat, but never mind. There we go. Now, this is obviously not got anything on it, so it's got no added strength and it's got no extra interest. So that's where, when we went travelling, we may have been going travelling to visit family. You could pop some pictures in there. We may have been going travelling to purchase some stuff, so we could put some of our invoice in there. And if you wanted to put your invoice in there, a clever way of doing that would be to trim off your white edge, like so. Okay, trim off all them. Measure the size of your pocket, so it's actually conveniently on the fold that was on that paper. Look. Ta-da! So we don't obviously want to waste it, so we'll take that off, use that for something else. But this, depending on which way around you want it, do you want it to go that way? Do you want it to go that way? It's up to you. But I love this invoice because soap manufacturers, and those of you that have been on my channel for a while will know that my day job used to be as a soap manufacturer. So there you go. So you must stick it down whichever way you want, or if you want to save this to use somewhere else in the book, then you may wish to put something else here. I'm just going to hold it up so it doesn't stick. That's the theory anyway. And just slide that down. There you go. That is now stuck down on my back cover. Alright. And there is my 3 pieces of ephemera that I had in there before. That's my correspondence. So yeah, perhaps you were travelling on business to buy some soap, supplies or whatever. And obviously there's still plenty of room because of those folded gussets to put more stuff in there if you would like to. So now we are going to put our pages in. If you've made a journal before, you've sewn pages in before, you know what you're doing here. You do not necessarily want to see me do it. That's absolutely fine, and you can obviously fast forward. This is for people that haven't done it before. So what I'm doing here is I'm using these 3-inch paper clips. I'm putting one on that side and making sure it's all pressed home nicely. I'm putting one on that side. Okay, and I've got this, and I keep this always on my desk, and you can see that this was used in a much smaller book because this is too tall. So I'm going to slide it so that it feels right. I'm then going to put this bulldog clip on to hold it where I want it. I'm then going to sit all of this inside my journal like that. Okay, and then I'm taking my awl. I'm lying because my awl's not in here. Yes, it is. I take my awl, and while I've got my book as a V, I'm going to put my awl. Now, if you haven't got an awl, you can use a really sharp, a really sharp knitting needle, a big sewing needle, whatever it is that you need to punch through. You could even use a very small screwdriver. Okay, so then I take that off, we take that out, and you can see I've got 3 holes. Okay, I'm then going to take some waxed linen. Excuse me, I need to find a sewing needle. If you haven't got any waxed linen, you can use embroidery thread. You can use cotton, strong cotton, anything really. But I'm using this wax thread, and I'm going 1, 2, 2.5. I'm going to snip this off like so. Probably off camera there, sorry. Excuse me. Right, and then obviously I'm using a big, this is called a chenille needle, but you can use a darning needle or a normal little sewing needle. And then I'm going in there, through my holes and out through the cover. And then I'm just going to wrap that under that large paper clip, and then going to the top. Oh, sorry, I've got blue thread there from there. Now, so you've come out of the middle, you're going back in at the top. Okay, so in there, that flips open, and then straight through there. Okay, and pull it, and then we go down to the bottom, come all the way through, pull that tight, and then we go back through this centre hole, and I always just do the cover and then pick the whole thing up and come through the pages, and when you open that up, that should be sitting just there in the centre. Now take your needle back out, take your paper clips off, make sure that there is one thread to the right of your centre strip, and one no, what is going on here? Right, so we've got one to the right, one to the left. I wrap them round my fingers and I pull, and then I go top to bottom and I pull, and just, yeah, and then I just check Now that doesn't sound like a guitar string, so that needs to be tighter. Do not go so tight. That's better, you see. Do not go so tight that you rip your papers. And then I do 1 knot, 2 knots, and then take them to the bottom. And I always snip to the shortest. Got a bit extra there. Okay, and then I fold my pages again now that they've been stitched. Now, in an ideal world, you want your holes and your thread to be in a straight line. If they're not, as I can see these ones are not, this is where we go, look, because there's one there, one over there and one over there. So they're really not in line. So this is where we go, fine. We're going to re-glue this because that is not properly over there. We're going to glue this, and now because those stitches are not straight, this is where we decorate our spine. See? No problem at all. Now, you want to take some of your invoice, cover your spine. Do you want to use a couple of pictures? Do you want to use your tickets? I'm actually going to use the layaway card. So I'm going to use my tear ruler, and I'm going to tear just inside that black line. Okay, whoops. Oh, goodness me. So if we do it the other way, go there. Okay. And then we're just going to tear away the tag shape at the top and at the bottom. That's more of a pull than a tear. And then if you open your book up to your threads like that, you can work out the centre for your layaway tag. Okay, now I'm going to ink up the edges. A bit. Okay. If you don't want to do this, then you can obviously leave it. I mean, it doesn't matter really. It just depends on what you want to do. Now we know, do we not, that you are not supposed to fold paper while it's still wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position it where I want it. As you know, I've only glued one side. Now I can glue the rest of it. And I can wrap like this. Okay, so now my spine is extra strong. My stitching that was a bit wonky is now covered up, and we've now got an additional element to our cover. Our pages are inside, ready for playing with. We've got a pocket on the front here, and on this pocket we can lay all of the things that we've got left in our kit, ready to decorate our book. So we can put the small layaway ticket in. We can put our tickets and stamps in. We can separate some of our photos, and we can put our photos in. Okay, and we can fill up our pocket with all our bits and pieces, because hubby's calling for dinner. He's not really, I'm just saying, you know. Hubby's calling for dinner, the children need you to help them with their homework, so you can pop all of those bits into your pocket where they are safe and sound, ready for when you come back to play again. Okay? Oh, but I tell you what is actually happening. Boo's come asking for lunch. So there you go. You don't need to watch me fill that pocket. You've got the idea. And in 2 fairly short videos with one kit, only one piece of card in the end, because the reason I had this card is so that we could make our photos into cabinet cards. So by sticking a photo onto our 300-gram card, we were going to get a nice cabinet card. Haven't used that yet. You've got all of these that can go in there. All of this, you've got a spare bit of coffee dyed paper to come back and play with and get your journal finished. I hope you've enjoyed that. You found some inspiration, some ideas. I just love that Amanda called it an ephemera kit and I called it a junk journal kit. Stay safe. I'll be back very soon. Ta-ta for now.